Hello everyone and welcome to the Auctiva 101 webinar for today. My name is Mike Davies. I run our customer support team and I'll be leading this presentation for you all. Basically what we're going to do is begin with about a 30-minute tour that'll go over a lot of the major pieces of functionality on the Auctiva website. And then at the end I'm going to open the floor for questions and I'll be able to get to all of the questions you may have at that time. If at any time during the demonstration a question pops into your head, just go ahead and enter that into the questions area on the GoToWebinar interface, and I'll get to those in the order that they've been received. Now at this time I have shared my screen with you, so you should all be able to see the Auctiva account dashboard page within my account. Hopefully this is a page you're all familiar with already because we do drop each user here each time they log in. The account dashboard page is basically just a collection of information and quick links that we want to make sure all of our users are exposed to. Now I'm just going to go over a few things on this page, and the first one I'd like to highlight is the account messages area in the upper left. This is where you'll find all of the messages that Auctiva wants to communicate with you. Most of these will be sent to you via email, but if you delete those emails, don't see them or whatnot, you can also find those messages right here in the account messages section. Then over here on the right, you're going to find the quick links to the pages involved in the listing creation process, which is how most of our sellers spend most of their time on our site. And below that, the buttons to reach all of the help resources we have available, such as our tutorials and videos, this webinar, and a variety of other resources. Also on this page, you'll find a listing summary that'll quickly go over the number of listings you have scheduled to post through Auctiva, the number of active listings you have, and the number of closed listings you have. And a little below that, you'll find the My Sales box where you'll find links to view the page with all your sales, or if you just want to view your paid sales or your unpaid sales, you can do that too. Now the last thing I want to go over quickly while we're on the dashboard page is the notification section up here, which you'll actually be able to see on any page within the Auctiva website, because especially for a new user, it is very important to understand what those notifications mean. Now the green notifications are success notifications, and mainly what you're going to find here are records of successful listings that have been done through your Auctiva account. You'll also find some account-related notifications with success messages such as your ads and listings have been imported and your eBay token's been generated. The scheduled listings page right here lists all of the new listings that I've successfully posted through my Auctiva account, and the relisting section down here has all of the success notifications for the relistings that I've done from my closed listings page. Now the orange and the red notification types are a little more important to stay on top of because these do sometimes require some action be taken on your part. The orange notifications are recorded when eBay's API returns a warning with respect to a listing that you post. And sometimes when you post a listing to eBay through Auctiva and the listing does post successfully, eBay's system will return one of these API warnings, which is a message that they want to communicate with the seller of the item. Oftentimes, these messages will be item specific, such as condition is not applicable for this category, it has been dropped, or only PayPal or electronic payment methods allowed, all non-electronic payment methods have been removed. But sometimes they also use these warnings to make sellers aware of changes in eBay policy. Such as last September, I started getting this one with all my relistings, saying that starting in September, we're showing buyers estimated delivery times based on the services selected and your handling time. So you might find some information here about changes in eBay policy that eBay wants to make sure you're aware of as well. Now the red notifications are failure notifications, and if you see the number here increase, you definitely want to check it out right away because it almost definitely means that a listing you attempted to post to eBay through Auctiva failed to post, And when that does happen, you can find a record of it here along with the exact error message that eBay returned when the listing failed. If the error message is nice and short, we'll be able to put the entire error in this field right here. But in the event the error message is one of the longer ones they sometimes generate, you'll find this View Error Message from eBay link right here. And if you click that link, you'll be able to see the entirety of the error message that eBay's system returns. The good news about these error messages, even though it means an item failed to post, is they will typically tell you exactly why the item failed to post and at least suggest what needs to be done differently to get that item posted to eBay successfully. So anytime you see this red number increase, I definitely recommend checking it out as soon as possible, because you probably have to make a change or two to get one or more of your items posted to eBay. So that was everything I wanted to mention from the account dashboard page. So now we're going to move on to the listings tab here and get into more of the functional components of the Auctiva website. And the listings tab is the area within Auctiva which basically contains all the tools available for building your eBay listings. Now the My Listings box on the left-hand side of the page contains the links to the pages in your account that contain the 4 different types of listing data that are stored within Auctiva. The closed listings page is where you'll find your listings that have recently closed on eBay, and that's where you can do your relisting from if you like to do that. The active listings page is where you'll find your vital statistics on your active listings, see what your items are selling for, how many bids you've received, things like that. The information you'll find there is similar to what you'd find on your Items I'm Selling page of My eBay. Then you have the scheduled listings page, and that's where you'll find the records of any listings that you've scheduled through Auctiva but have not posted to eBay yet. If you want to make changes to any listings that you've scheduled, you can do it from that page. Then once a listing that you've scheduled posts to eBay, it should be removed from your scheduled listings page and show up on the active listings page. Now the saved listings page is where basically all of the information you enter when creating your listings gets stored within Auctiva for future use. And I'm going to go over and click the saved listings page within my account to talk a little more about that. Basically, anytime you create a listing through Auctiva and either post the listing to eBay or simply save the work you've done, all of the information you entered in the listing creation page is retained on your saved listings page, so that's available to you for future use. Of course, you could use that information to post new instances of the same product without much effort at all, or you could use Create Similar, which is this button right here, make a few changes necessary to turn it into a different product, and then post the listing to eBay like so. If you make any listings you're only going to use once and you just don't want that data cluttering up your saved listings page, you do always have the option to delete those from here. But this is really one of the great parts about Auctiva. It's that we really save all of the work you do, so that's available to you for future use. Now, in order to go into a little more detail about the listing creation process, I'm going to bring up our new listing page, which we refer to as the one-page lister, because we have consolidated the entire process of creating an eBay listing onto just one browser page. So that's actually the end of the process right there. And if any of you have created a listing directly through the eBay Sell Your Item form recently, I'm sure you're well aware that it takes a good 3 or 4 different browser pages just to get one listing posted to eBay. We at Auctiva feel that putting that whole process onto just one page makes the process of creating listings a lot more efficient. Now, since we are an eBay listing tool, we effectively have to offer all the same options you'd find on the eBay Sell Your Item form, so hopefully the process will be intuitive to most of you who are already familiar with eBay. But there are a few things I would like to highlight while we're looking at the Auctiva listing creation page. The first of those is in the image selection section, and a couple of our most popular benefits come along with image hosting. First of all, when you list your items to eBay through Auctiva, you can put as many images as you'd like in each listing without having to pay any additional image hosting fees to eBay. And that's regardless of which category you're posting to and regardless of what level of store subscription you have. On top of that, any images you add to Auctiva created listings come along with a click to supersized option at no additional cost that'll allow your viewers to click any of the images in the description and open up a new browser window with the full-size versions of all the images you have available. And that's another feature that would cost you a bit extra when listing directly through eBay. Now those are some neat benefits, definitely some of our most popular, but before we move on, I would like to go over a couple more things related to adding images to your Auctiva created listings. And that is, when you click one of these select an image buttons, this pop-up window will open up and you have two options here. Basically, you'll find in this section all of the images that you've already uploaded into your Auctiva account. And if you want to use any of those, you can just click the ones you'd like to use with your cursor and go ahead and click the Done button, and it'll place those images right in the appropriate spots in the image selection section. However, if you get to this point and you don't have the images you'd like to use uploaded into your Auctiva account already, you can just click this Upload button here. That'll take you to the Auctiva uploader where you'll be able to upload images directly from your computer to use in the listing, and that will just work fine for you as well. If you're the type of seller that's going to be creating listings in large batches, it'll probably be best for you to upload your images in bulk from outside the listing creation process. So as you're creating your listings, you can use this quicker method of selecting your images that doesn't require doing a separate upload from your computer with each and every listing that you create. Now, the next thing I'd like to highlight while we're on this page revolves around this Select a Template button you see here. And if you click that button, you'll find the Auctiva template library, which is where you can choose any of our 1,800 plus professionally designed listing templates, which you can apply to your listings at no additional cost. Now, not only do you have this great selection of 1,800 plus, but when you use Auctiva's templates, you're not going to have to pay any additional fee per listing for doing so, which is contrary to using eBay's listing designer and paying an additional 10 cents per listing to get a nice design template. Now, since we have so many templates to choose from, we have to provide you with some options to narrow down those results. And the first option we have is the category menu up here, which contains most of the primary eBay listing categories. If you click on any of those categories, we're going to return a selection of templates that we feel might fit your items listed in those categories. If that option won't quite do it for you, you can also narrow down the results by color. If I wanted to see all the blacks, browns, grays, whatever, I could narrow down my results that way. We also have a keyword or template ID search. So for example, I wanted to find some football themed templates. I could go ahead and type football and search, and then our template selector is going to return all those templates that could potentially be used to list football items. So we have that option available as well. So not only do you get to choose one of these neat designs, but you also have the ability to customize the way your description and images appear in the template once you use it. And once you select your template and reach this page, you can do that by adjusting the grouping and alignment menus right here. The grouping menu refers to how the images are grouped together, and the alignment menu refers to where the images appear relative to the description. So a lot of sellers like to use this vertical grouping with alignments like left and right to create this type of appearance you see here. Vertical is also pretty popular for top or bottom. Now, we don't have a lot of people using horizontal, especially for more than 2 images, but paired is pretty popular for people who are using a good number of images and want them all to show up in the template at any given time. But also for people who use a lot of images in each listing, the slideshow and thumbnails options are popular. because these will allow you to put as many images as you want in here, but not take up a huge amount of space within the description. With the slideshow, your viewer can actually stop the slideshow there where they want it to stop and make it play again. So that's a cool one. But then we also have thumbnails, which does something similar, but it allows your viewer to mouse over the thumbnail versions of the images that they'd like to see enlarged. So in addition to finding one or two templates that you want to use, you'll also want to experiment with this a little bit and make sure you come up with the alignment that you like best. Now, the last thing I'd like to go over while we're on the listing creation page is that when you use Auctiva, you'll find this schedule button at the bottom of the lister page. And unlike listing directly through eBay, you can schedule as many listings as you'd like to post ahead of time through Auctiva at no additional cost. And since scheduling directly through eBay costs 10 cents a listing, a lot of high volume sellers who are used to scheduling through eBay could come over to Auctiva and find themselves saving much more in scheduling fees that they're no longer paying eBay than they're paying for their monthly Auctiva subscription fee, scheduling alone. So once you start using Auctiva, you never have to be concerned about scheduling your listings ahead of time due to cost. So schedule away, folks. Now that we've covered those parts of the listing creation page, I'd like to move on to the Images tab and go over a few things there. First of all, the Images tab is where you'd want to come if you'd like to use that method of uploading that I mentioned earlier, where you'd be uploading your images outside of the listing creation process. If you'd like to do that, you'd want to come right here to the Images tab and use this Upload with Auctiva uploader option. That's our best and brightest bulk uploader. Now just below that, you'll find the My Image Hosting Usage section, which tells you how much of your image hosting space you're currently using. And that's important because all of our subscription plans include either 500 megabytes or 1 gigabyte of image hosting space. And to put those numbers in perspective, 500 megabytes is usually about 5,000 average size images, and 1 gigabyte is usually about 10,000 average sized images. So it should be quite a while before you have to delete any images to stay under your image hosting allowance, regardless of which plan you choose. However, once you reach that point, you just need to go to the next link down, which is Manage and Edit Images. And from this page, you have the ability to edit, delete, caption, watermark, or replace images. As far as deleting images is concerned, you can set the page to display up to 250 at a time. And there's a select all box right here where you can select a whole page and delete them 250 at a time. We also have an image deletion wizard tool here, which will look for your images that are older than a certain number of days that you enter and that are also not being used in active or saved listings, and it'll give you the option to purge those from your account in bulk. So we do have some neat tools available to help you get images out of your account that you don't need once you do reach that point. Now that was all I wanted to mention under the Images tab. So now we're going to move on to the next one, which is Profiles. And Profiles I'm really excited about introducing you to because I feel that there's something that can save just about any eBay seller a good deal of time with creating their listings. Now effectively what a profile is a container in which you can save consistently used information so that when you begin a listing from your profile, all of that consistently used information is already in there. So you don't have to enter it with each and every listing you create, which is definitely going to save you some time and maybe some sanity as well. In order to take advantage of this functionality, you will eventually need to create a master profile. But before you can do that, you want to create one of each of these sub-profile types because you will be building your master profile out of these sub-profiles. So to get started, you would first click the Item Details profile link here, and the Item Details profile page will look just like the first part of the listing creation page, and you just want to go down here and enter any information that you'd like to be pre-filled in the listing creation page when you begin from this profile. Now granted, a lot of the things in this section are going to vary from listing to listing for most sellers, but there still might be a few things that are appropriate to pre-fill. For example, some sellers might post all their items to the same category so they could fill in this. Some sellers might have a blurb about their business, such as their terms of service, customer service, return policy information that they put in the description of all their listings. That could be incorporated into a profile and definitely be a time saver. If you use the same template for all your listings, you could incorporate a template into your profile so you don't have to choose that with each and every listing. So definitely take a look, enter anything you would like to pre-fill, and then just give that profile a name and save it. Now once you've done that, you just want to go back to the Profiles tab, and you would want to repeat that same process for marketing tools, shipping, and checkout. Most sellers will get the most bang for their buck in the shipping and checkout sections because a lot of that stuff is really going to be the same for almost every listing. Now once you've created all 4 of your sub-profiles, then you're ready to come over here and click the master profile link, and that'll take you to an interface where you can build your master profile from one of each of these sub-profile types. So you just go ahead and select your detailed profile, select your marketing profile, select your shipping profile, and select your checking profile. Go ahead and give that a name and save it, and then your master profile is ready for use. Now, in my opinion, the quickest way to get started with a listing from a master profile is just to come up here and click the Listings tab, select that master profile from this drop-down menu right here, and click the Go button, and that is going to load the listing creation page complete with all of the information that was stored in that master profile. And that is all information you only have to enter once instead of entering again and again with each and every listing. So again, I can't emphasize enough that you should definitely check out profiles and see what they can do for you. Now the next thing we're going to talk about here are the plans that we have available. And in order to do that, I'm going to mouse over the My Account tab and click the Change Plan option there. You might see a Pick a Plan button there if you haven't chosen a plan yet, but either way, it'll take you to this page we're looking at right now. And the plans that focus only on our eBay listing and management service are these 3 right here. So we'll go ahead and start with the free plan. Now that free plan is of course free, and it doesn't allow you to post listings to eBay through Auctiva. But it does allow you to use the Auctiva scrolling gallery in your listings at no cost, which is this cross-promotional tool that I'm sure most of you have seen in eBay listings all over the place. So if you go through your free trial and you decide that all you want from Auctiva is that scrolling gallery, you can actually get that at no cost by just going with your free plan. The free plan also does include 100 megabytes of image hosting space that you can use however you'd like. Now, if you would like to list items to eBay through Auctiva, you will need at least the basic plan. The basic plan is our plan intended more for part-time or recreational sellers. It's $2.95 a month and allows you to post up to 15 listings per month at that rate. The basic plan does include 15 megabytes of image hosting space as well. While you are allowed to post more than 15 listings in a month while you're on the basic plan, if you do, you will incur an additional charge of 50 cents for each listing posted after the 15th, so you just want to be wary of that if you're going to be using that plan. Our most popular plan is our unlimited plan right here. That one's $9.95 a month, allows you to post as many listings to eBay as you want on a monthly basis through Auctiva, and includes 1 gigabyte of image hosting space. Now, both of these plans include our 24/7 online support at no additional cost. You do have the option of upgrading to get live chat and phone support for an extra $5.95 a month if you need it. Now, all these plans that start at $24.95 all the way up to $179.95, those include everything the unlimited plan does, plus our Auctiva Commerce product with the limitations you see here on products, image hosting, and bandwidth. So if you are looking to expand your presence outside of eBay, Auctiva Commerce is a solution that will allow you to create your very own web store that is completely independent of eBay. So I would definitely recommend checking it out. There is a free 30-day trial, so you do have an opportunity to evaluate the product before getting on any of these plans. Now we are almost to the question and answer portion of the demonstration, so if you've been holding on to any questions, now would be a good time to start getting those in. And the last thing we're going to talk about before getting into those is Auctiva shipping insurance. And in order to help me explain that, I'm going to bring up this Auctiva shipping insurance rates and details page. Now, as an Auctiva customer, you now have the ability to purchase Auctiva shipping insurance for your eBay items. And Auctiva shipping insurance entails both cost savings and time savings benefits for our sellers. First of all, Auctiva shipping insurance is considerably less than similar coverage through USPS. It's about 20% less on average for domestic shipments and even more on international shipments. For domestic shipments, for example, Auctiva shipping insurance is 30 cents less than USPS for the lowest coverage tier of $50 or less, but for each additional tier on the coverage chart the policy amount climbs, you'll be saving an additional 25 cents over the USPS rate. So once you get into a $500 to $600 policy, you'll be paying $5.95 to Auctiva for a policy that would have cost you $7.90 through USPS for savings of $1.95 on that policy alone. And I'm sure you can see how that could really add up if you're buying insurance for lots and lots of items. Now for international insurance, Auctiva's rates are exactly the same as domestic, whereas USPS's rates go up. So your savings for international insurance are greater than for domestic. Now on top of the savings, Auctiva shipping insurance can also cover shipments sent using services even the carrier won't insure, and the most notable of those in eBay is USPS First Class Mail International. So now that's insurable for you, so take advantage of it. Now on top of those cost savings measures, you can also save yourself some time by using Auctiva shipping insurance, and the primary way you can do that is through the use of our auto insure rules, which you can set up right here. Your auto insure rules are basically a way that you can tell Auctiva that you would like to automatically generate shipping insurance policies for items when certain conditions are met. You have the ability to set up one rule for domestic shipments and one rule for international shipments. For each of those, you can choose for the rule to apply to USPS shipments only or shipments sent using any carrier. And if that condition is met, you can tell the system to not purchase insurance, to auto-insure all sold items, or to only auto-insure items over a certain amount. So for example, if as a seller, I decided that I'd like to self-insure anything worth under $100, but I'd like to go ahead and purchase insurance automatically for anything over $100, I could go ahead and select total transaction price here, put $100 in this field, and of course, if I wanted to do the same for international, I would do the same thing right down here. Now, if the auto-insure rules just don't meet all your needs, you can always purchase insurance through Auctiva manually by going to the sales page within your account and using either the purchase insurance button right here or by checking the boxes next to the items that you want to buy insurance for here and clicking the purchase insurance button at the top of the page. Now, while we're on the sales page, I'm going to also take this opportunity to introduce you to the fact that you can also print USPS shipping labels through Auctiva. And if that's something you'd like to do, you just want to come down to the transaction in question and click Get Shipping Label. That will open up the interface for printing out a USPS shipping label. And the rates you'll pay here will be just about the same as any other online service. But when you print your shipping labels through Auctiva, in addition to having the convenience of being able to do it right through your Auctiva account, you can also purchase our discount shipping insurance during the process of printing your labels, saving you a little money on your shipping insurance needs. So this wraps up the demonstration portion of the webinar for today. So at this point, I'd like to remind you all that if you click the Help tab in the upper right-hand corner of any page on the Auctiva site, you'll find our FAQs, both searchable and categorized, in the middle of the page, a button to reach our tutorials and videos in the upper left, and of course, the options to contact our customer support team in the upper right. Again, I can't thank you enough for taking this time out of your evening to come listen to our presentation, and I hope you got a lot of interesting and useful information out of it that'll help you remain happy Auctiva customers for a long time to come. Until we speak again, take care, everyone.